Happy Sunday, guys. How are you doing? Hope everyone is well on this Sunday morning. Yes, I'm back again with a content or two and many other topics that follow in this content. Guys, it's really windy outside and, chilly outside. I guess winter's upon us and all of these things. But nevertheless, I hope your Sunday is wonderful. I hope you almost finished cooking up your nice dinner and just relaxing for tomorrow. Like I said, time waits for no one. So you see, Sunday is already up on us and all of that, right? So yeah, guys, we're here and we're here to unpack on this Sunday morning a good content of rich kid mow down four sorority sisters and want the judge to drop the charges because they're privileged and rich or don't want to be held accountable of that sort. So we're gonna unpack the story way. All right, in California, we are at in this content, so to speak. Okay. So yeah. So just signal your plane, signal everything, come on in, and roll on in with the content or two. All right. So let's unpack this content. I'm gonna read from the best of my ability, and then I have the audio and the video for you, and then we're gonna discuss on this topic or this content some more. So let's go all the way in California. Like I said, a California judge ruled Monday that charges against a man accused of killing four Pepperdine University students will not be dropped as a crime online. Okay, Fraser Michael Baum, 24, has been charged with 4 counts of murder in 2023 deaths of Alpha Phi sorority sisters. Okay, Ralston, 20, Peyton Stewart and Asha Ware, 21, and Diesel Williams, 21. According to ABC 7 on Monday morning, court hearing Judge Thomas Robinson rejected the defense request to drop the charges despite his defense team claiming he was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol when the fatal crash occurred. All right. Moving on, skipping all the way down, the defense also argued that there was not enough evidence to constitute murder charges and that Baum was being chased by a road rage driver when he crashed, and it happened. So basically, the rich kid, the privileged kid, lawyer is saying basically, oh, because he was running from a road rage and he plowed into the sisters, he should get away. He should not be charged for their murder. He should just get off scotch-free. We get to understand because he's so rich and privileged, he hired this lawyer, a big lawyer that everybody recognized, so to speak. Fox 11 Los Angeles reports that Boehm alleged swerved and crashed into 3 parked vehicles along the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu on October 17, 2023, while alleged driving his BMW over 100 mph in a 45 mph zone. So we call that carelessness. Yes. The crash caused parked vehicle to strike the 4 victims who were walking along the shoulder of the highway after exiting their own vehicle. Speed cannot be treated as malice according to the California law, and the prosecution must prove of implied malice for a murder charge, and the prosecution does not have that, Boehm's attorney Alan Jackson argued. All right? So we'll see how this one played out, guys. The prosecution argued that the defendant clearly drove into a reckless and dangerous manner. Here, the defendant drove 59 miles per hour over the speed limit on what is essential a residential street, Deputy District Attorney Bartos Road. There is no excuse which can justify the danger he posed, and those speeds certainly not trying to flee possible road rage, a contention for which there was no evidence, nor did the defendant ever mention it to the deputies. So he wants to lie and say he was running away from road rage. Somebody was chasing him. Oh, I'm scared for my life. So it gives him the right to go do 100, go 100, okay, and end up plowing into parked cars, killing off these sisters. The judge agreed. There's no doubt that the man was driving extremely fast on PCH close to even about 100 mph, Robinson said. There is no evidence of the road rage incident before the crash. The defendant knew how dangerous it was to drive at 100 mph. That is his action and high degree of probability of cause of death. Well, obviously, because if you're driving so fast, and what do you think's gonna happen? Shortly after the crash, attorneys for the victim parents who filed a lawsuit against the state said there wasn't a protection in place for the crash site. Okay? Remember, this is notoriously known as the dead man's curve. So where they died, it's called the dead man curves. The attorney said that the state has known about the dangers of the curves for decades. All right? So because it's called Dead Man Curve, a lot of people been dying. They claim about it. Anyway, the site is not the same location as the famous 1963 song Dead Man's Curve by John and Dean, which focused on the curve of Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. Boehm remains free on a $4 million bond. Okay, William Stewart and Ralston were seniors at the Pepperdine University. All four received their degrees. All right? So they were university kids hanging out, doing their thing, and here comes this boy, basically ran into them and crashed and killed these young girls. All right. So that was the story. I don't know if you have followed the story, but this story has been out in court for a while. So I'm just dropping the story, so to speak, and get into some other things. All right. So I want to give you the introduction of the story right here. Let's unpack what the one second. I want to give you guys what occurred here. So, 1 second.
Or innocent or vivacious or how scrubbed in sunshine they were, it didn't matter to the defendant, who was driving his brand new BMW given to him by mommy and daddy at least 104 mph.
On October 17th at around 8:30 p.m., Mr. Bond was allegedly speeding at speeds of 104 miles an hour on a 45-mile-an-hour zone on PCH when he lost control of his BMW. He allegedly crashed into a parked car before crashing into four pedestrians standing together on the side of the roadway.
Judge.
All of the young women died at the scene. To top it all off,
see,
it's a fixed object.
All right.
Out of everywhere you could drive.
So what occurred?
So really, it was just a bunch of stopped cars, and
let's get into it some more.
Coco, about the night of the deadly crash that stole your friends from you.
Yeah, I remember getting a call that night saying, don't freak out. There's been an accident, and we think it was Ash's car. So I immediately drove down there. I was like, they have no family. All their family's out of state. They need someone, and Bridget met me. Me and Bridget met at the scene, or as close to the scene as we could get. But we just sat on the curb all night, not really knowing what was going on. But then, news broke, and once we hadn't heard from them for a couple hours, because we were always in contact with our friends, we knew that something was wrong.
I'm just imagining you, Coco Crandall, sitting there on the curb. And I've got to tell you, I've been to so many crime scenes and seen family and loved ones and best friends like you literally sitting on a curb because there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to sit. And you just sit there, kind of suspended and waiting. It's like everything comes to a standstill. Everything seems to stop. And you're just waiting to hear something, to know something, to find out something. Bridget Thompson, also with us, roommate and bestie of the crash victims. Bridget, what do you recall about that night?
Yeah, for me, I actually was supposed to be with them that night. I had cheer practice that night, and it ended running a little late, so I texted them and let them know that I'll just meet them there. And as I was on my way, I got a call as well, and it was kind of along the same lines as Coco, and just that there was an accident and the girls aren't answering. I tried calling all of them, but none of them answered. And like Coco said, I went over to the scene and tried to do whatever I could. But at that point, it was just such a helpless feeling.
Bridget, when you got to the scene, what did you observe?
Well, we couldn't get past the police officer that was blocking us off. So really it was just a bunch of stopped cars and a police officer standing there. And then in the distance, we saw a bunch of sirens, ambulances, but nothing other than that.
Did anyone or could anyone tell you what had happened?
Not directly. There was things coming out in the news because there was quite a bit of news coverage on it. And that's kind of how we found out our information. We heard there was 4 dead, 6 involved. So we were praying that hopefully we only lost 2 of our friends with that math. But unfortunately, that just wasn't the case.
Bridget, did you try and question the police or try and ask anyone any questions?
We definitely did, but we knew that there wasn't really information that they could give us.
What did you do? Who did?
So did you hear, guys? All right. So this kid is trying to let them drop the charges after he was driving 100 miles per hour in a 45 zone. Okay? So I want to give you guys some more of this case. I will get into it some more. Jordan Powell, good night. How are you? So let's right here. Let's see if we could get some more of the story right here for a second. Okay, 1 second. So this man he's basically privileged, and he just got his car, and the first day he got his car, he went to go take that car for a spin and end up killing off, right? End up killing off 4 sisters, and now come with a high-priced lawyer, and the lawyer is saying, well, it's not malice. You can't charge my client for murder. You should drop the charges, all right? So the judge said, nope, we're not dropping the charges. It's going to stay, and now he's out on a $4 million bond for killing 4 of those sisters, university sisters. Hi, Jordan Powell. I said hi. I said, good morning. How are you? You maybe didn't hear him, but good morning. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. Okay. So that's what the story is all about today. And we're going to talk about something else. Yeah. So, this case is a little bit bizarre. But for me, I'm not surprised, because a lot of these people, when they're so rich, they have no empathy and sympathy for life at times, and people just discard life nowadays days, and we just have to be mindful most of the time what's going on here, right? So judge denies to throw out the charges of this rich kid. 1 second.
It's interesting. They're proceeding on what's known as an implied malice murder theory. And essentially what that means is that under certain circumstances, even if you have no intent to kill somebody else, the malice or the intent to kill can be implied based on the person's conduct. So in other words, if somebody has subjective knowledge that something's inherently dangerous to human life, and they consciously disregard the safety of everybody else and do it anyway, you can be charged. The sort of textbook quintessential example of that, and Mark's done many of these, are what are known as Watson murders. That's Pupil versus Watson, where somebody has prior DUIs and they get behind the wheel and they've been drinking heavily and they kill some poor kid on a bike or another motorist. That is a very common type of implied malice murder that we do.
Okay.
And they have families that love them to death, and they're tragically killed. So the question then becomes legally, does that, and it's a combination of the law and the facts here, does that conduct rise to the level where he can be said to be consciously disregarding the safety of others on the road? Alan Jackson, who's a friend of mine and Mark's going back many years, he was the defense lawyer on the Karen Reed case famously. Alan just did what's called a 995 motion where he challenged
one truth, a legal truth here in California. Speed cannot be treated as malice. Speed cannot be treated as malice. That is the rule in the state of California. It's not made up by the defense, it's not made up by me. It's not a tagline.
So that's the big bad lawyer.
The rule of law in California was cited in a statement handed down to the lower courts.
So he's trying to get the case to throw out, saying that speed is not a malice in the law of California. And the judge said, no, Zippo, we're not throwing out the case. So let's see how this case is going to uphold with 4 murders of driving 100 in a 45 zone and plow into these 4 sisters that are killed sudden because he's driving his brand new BMW. Privileged child just got his car and decided to bring the car out and then lie and say, well, allegedly, that he was running away from a road rage, and then he ended up plowing into the sisters. Let's unpack.
Supreme Court Justice Kelly Evans. What happened on Pacific Coast Highway, I could not be clearer about this, was a tragic collision. But tragedy does not equal murder. And the law does not permit the district attorney to convert a fatal accident into second-degree murder simply by calling speed malice.
So I've had, and I think I swore, and I think 8 years ago, I tried my last one of these. I tried it about 30 miles away from here in LA County, and it was a 17-year-old young man, wonderful kid from a wonderful family, and the implied malice that Matt was talking about, so that people understand. Originally, the Watson admonition or the Watson theory was drug or alcohol. What has happened is prosecutors have pushed the envelope, so that now any kind of warning. I've had cases where somebody was warned that they were speeding by a CHP, and they actually had the body cam 4 months before and said that was sufficient to know. I've had ones where they said somebody attended traffic school, and that traffic school supplied the mens rea so that you could imply the malice. In this case, I've tried this identical case, and the reason I bring it up is, it is, to my mind, people always say, how do you do this, or how do you sleep at night? I lost more sleep over defending that 17-year-old than virtually any case I can think of. And not just because of him and his family, but therefore.
So you hear that. So we're going to see how this case played out. When you're rich and privileged at times, you see no prison times, as we can see out here most of the time. So here you are. You didn't have to buy your first car like other children. Other children don't get their grandma on their parents' car or getting their parents to buy them. Their first car is a BMW. And here you are, got your parents to buy you a car, a BMW, because you're the rich, privileged kid. And instead of you take it easy with the car and go drive to the mall or whatever that sort, what did you do? You end up 100 in a 45 zone. Okay? In a 45 zone, and end up killing off these 4 sisters. All right? So let's give you some more depth into it. This case has been happening for 3 months now. So we decided, so we're watching this case and all of that. Give me a second, okay?
Of the West Coast trial lawyers, Nima Romani, who is based in Los Angeles, California. There he is. Nima, great to see you. Let's start first with where this took place. I think that's obviously a very important part of this case. We're going to take a look at some images right now of that part of the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu. What can you tell us about that area and what sort of reputation it has.
So it's
the
called
roadway.
Dead Man's Curve.
Vinny, it is a windy road
See
along the
there?
beach. It has 2, sometimes 3 lanes each way, depending on what part of it. And people drive really, really fast there because there aren't many stoplights. Sometimes they're, even miles apart. And depending on the time of day, if there's no traffic, people can go
Fast.
Upwards of 100 miles an hour, which is what the issue it was in this case. Now, this road has been closed for several months. It just recently reopened because of the Pacific Palisades fires. But obviously, everyone is going to remember this tragedy that took place in 2023.
And my understanding is they refer to this as Dead Man's Curve.
What did I say?
I believe it's the same one that the song was based upon years ago
It's
by
not.
Janet Dean.
No, it's not. It's not the same one.
Absolutely, and people have...
It's not the same one, guy, if you do your
put up
research.
barriers, put up more stoplights, traffic lights, even speed bumps. There's a lot of people that have been upset at this part of the curve. Now, if you're talking about Malibu, it's not part of the city of Los Angeles, it's part of LA County, and people ask, why hasn't this road been made safer? And I know the families are waiting for this criminal case to resolve, but there's claims that have been made against the city of Malibu, the county of LA, Caltrans here, because of how dangerous this road is, and particularly this blind curve.
Okay, I want you to take a listen to the new attorney, the defendant. Let's listen.
Jackson, on behalf of Mr. Bone, you wait formal reading of the information statement of rights. And who pleads not guilty, denying any and all special allegations.
So he pled not guilty.
Not guilty, please answer to special allegations and priors are deemed denied.
Look at the rich kid now. Privilege.
Last day for the case would be October 6th. David requesting for police officers.
We are on for September 5. The reason for the little bit shorter date is...
So the lawyer want this to be thrown out, guys.
This court in first instance here, if you're in, we would be making a bail consideration motion, but that's to be determined.
So that's the new high-profile lawyer.
Everyone on Court TV knows him from the Karen Reed case.
See?
The result that he got really...
If you guys know about the Karen Reed case, that man put on a fight and he got the result of the Karen Reed case. So this is a big, big, big bad lawyer who's trying to throw it out and said, well, the law says speeding is not malice. So the prosecutor is saying that he was high on drugs or drunk or some sort. Why he was... But young rich kid said, nah, brah. I was road rage. Somebody was chasing me. So I ran with my car like lightning and I end up plowing into cars and it plowed into the sisters. Not malice. Oops, I'm sorry. It's just an accident. I am free and 4 million bond. Please let me out. I'm privileged. So if you heard about this case, oh, yo, whoa, right now, yo.
Pounding win, notwithstanding that OWI conviction, not just once, but twice. You pull that first jury. So he knows his way around the courtroom. Obviously, he understands the science of vehicles. That was a big issue in the Reed case. But you're talking about a vehicular murder case here, and it's not typically charged. The previous district attorney, George Gascon, had a pretty soft reputation, but charged it in this case. So it's called Watson murder here because of a famous case, but carries a 15-year sentence to life on each of the counts. So a lot of potential time here, and if he gets it down to manslaughter, that's only 2 years. And of course, he may argue a defense of necessity, that he was trying to avoid another vehicle.
What did I say?
Not guilty outright. We saw in the Karen Reed case, he didn't go for the manslaughter.
See? So right now, probably this case will drop to manslaughter. We're on this case like lightning. We're on this case like matlock. We're on this case like flying shit, basically. Because at the end of the day, this case has been going on for 3 months, rent-free in my brain. But sometimes there's so many cases, there's so many things happening. At times, you just kind of kiss your teeth and pick and choose what you want to come and tell the public. So if you didn't know right now, 4 university sisters going about their daily duty, not too long, exit their vehicle, and here come Mr. Rich Kid. And Mr. Rich Kid end up plowing down the speed, crashing into crashes his brand new BMW and killed the sisters. So let's unpack this again one more time. I'm going to mute you guys for a second so you guys could hear it, cause commercial. Give me a second.
Accident near Pepperdine University has left 4 sorority sisters dead.
See?
Ray explains what happened.
Full of life, all with bright futures before them. 4 sorority sisters killed in an unthinkable crash along a notorious stretch of highway in Malibu. The crash happened here along what's known as Dead Man's Curve on the Pacific Coast Highway. The sorority sisters were standing on the side of the road when cops say a speeding driver of a BMW lost control. Neve Ralston of Los Angeles was studying business. Peyton Stewart of New York City was also studying business. Deslyn Williams grew up in Atlanta and dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. Asha Weir had just returned that day from a trip to visit her mom in Philadelphia. The 4 best friends were headed to a fraternity party when they were killed. Cops arrested 22-year-old Frazier Michael Boehm, a former high school baseball star, and charged him with vehicular manslaughter. Neighbor Joshua Hoffman lives next door to the frat house.
I don't go out there anymore because it's Russian roulette. I mean, anytime you walk out here, you're risking your life. Those 4 girls, had they not been walking on PCH, coming to the party, would still be alive today.
You can see there's no sidewalk. You have to walk on the road.
You're there.
21 miles in Malibu is documenting the years of deadly traffic accidents. Now, another deadly crash along Dead Man's Curve has claimed the lives of 4 promising young women.
Pepperdine University announced the 4 students will be honored with posthumous degrees.
So the question becomes, was it the girl's fault to walk on the road where there's no sidewalk? Was it the girl's fault not to hear and study that the roads were dangerous and called Dead Man Curve? And it's very dangerous. Every accident happens every hour, every 2 seconds, every minute, every week, every day. I am not sure, guys. So let's see how this one played out in court. And hopefully that they get some kind of justice of that sort. We don't know. But this is a sad case, and at the end of the day, who speed in a 45 zone, a 100 zone, who does that? I don't know. All right, people. So let's unpack this one more time again. All right, and then you guys could get the full drift of the story. All right, give me a second.
Four Pepperdine students in a violent Malibu crash will ask a judge to throw out the case.
KTLA's Kimberly Chang is live outside that courtroom in Van Nuys with the latest on this fight for justice for those victims. Hi, Kimberly.
So remember I told you that his lawyer the big bad lawyer that he hired, he's on the suspect or the perpetrator is on $4 million bail, $4 million bail, and he wants him to throw out the case. He's charged with 4 murders because the 4 girls from university, 4 friends, he ended up plowed into and is dead by his carelessness. So now they want the courthouse to throw out this case, and the judge possible said no, like I said before. So I'm just giving you the rundown of the case, guys, to be honest. All right, let's unpack.
Hi, we're just receiving an update right now outside of the Van Nuys courthouse. This hearing is still underway right now, and we are hearing that they are bringing in expert testimony that's happening right now. Take a look at this video from earlier this morning. This is defendant Frazier Boehm walking into court. Now, he faces murder charges in the 2023 Malibu crash that left 4 Pepperdine University students dead. Boehm was 22 years old at the time. The victims, who were seniors in college, died at the scene. They were 20 years old. According to the DA's office, Boehm is accused of driving at speeds exceeding 100 miles an hour when he slammed into parked cars on Pacific Coast Highway, which hit the pedestrians. He has pleaded not guilty. Now today,
that's how you know how fast he's going, because if he didn't even hit them with his own car, he slammed into parked cars, and the parked cars slammed into them while they were walking on the side of the road. They already exit out of their car, walking on a road that there was no sidewalk. What is that road called? Dead Man's Curve. What is that road known for? Many atrocious, many serious crash. So it's their fault to walk on a road with no sidewalk. Do you jaywalk on a road without no sidewalk? Was it his fault to be driving in a 45 zone as 100? Hit into the parked cars and then come and say, allegedly, I was running away from road rage situation. Do you believe him? Do you believe the privileged kid? He just got the BMW for his birthday. Whose parents is buying them a BMW at the age of 21? Brand new BMW. I don't know, not sure. Privilege, we shout.
Superior Court Judge Thomas Robinson is presiding over this hearing. Defense attorneys filed a motion to throw out the murder charges against Boehm. His defense attorney, Alan Jackson, argued that prosecutors overcharged him, saying that this was a tragic traffic accident and not murder. They claimed that Bohm was trying to get away from a road
What
rage
did I say?
that started at a popular restaurant in Malibu when he hit that other car, which killed the pedestrian.
And none of the, you know how when other people do a crime, they come with all the cameras? Like, for example, when that girl said that she was kidnapped on the side of the road and they knew from when she left work, from when she stole the gloves, from when she stole the gown, from when she went to that street, from when she went here to there. Okay, now, so since he had a road rage, cameras, please, on the street. Busy Malibu Street, please. Any cameras to show that this boy was running from a road rage? Road rage. So anytime these people are privileged, they make excuses. I'm mentally ill. I am afraid of my life. And the list go on. Really? Oh, let's continue.
Bohm's previous attorney claimed that they were able to identify the person who instigated that incident. The sheriff's department, meanwhile, has not corroborated that claim.
See?
Now, back here live, I do have legal analyst Allison Treasel with us. You have been following this case and receiving updates throughout the morning. Correct. This hearing happening right now in the courthouse right behind us. What do you think is going to happen?
This is a very important hearing, and it will define how this case proceeds to trial. So the defense is saying this was a tragic accident, and this may be negligence, it may be gross negligence, but it is not an implied malice murder. They're asking that the 4 counts of murder be dismissed. And the reason it's so significant is, how does this defendant go to trial? Does this defendant go to trial facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison on the murder charges? Or does this judge parse it out and dismiss the 4 counts of murder, but keep the 4 counts of felony gross vehicular manslaughter? It means that if convicted, he'd still get substantial time in prison, but he wouldn't be spending the rest of his life in prison. So this hearing it's been contentious, it's been lengthy. We've heard strong, powerful arguments from both sides. The defense saying,
you guys keep on listening, okay?
People have turned this tragic accident into murder, and it's not murder. The prosecution countering that this defendant was driving 59 miles over the posted speed limit, and that he set up this dangerous condition. And under these facts, and there's precedent for it, because if we remember, Rebecca Grossman, in a similar fashion, did get convicted of murder. They're saying, look, these are the types of cases where we are going to charge them murder.
Now, they have claimed that he was trying to get away from this road rage incident a few miles from where that crash happened. How will that play into everything, especially considering that that has not been corroborated yet?
Yeah, I think that today is much more about whether this is an implied malice murder. So what the defense is arguing is he wasn't under the influence. He has no prior DUIs. He wasn't texting. This is a question of speed. And so I think that the question of, was he avoiding somebody? Was he being...
So that's why they came up and said it was a road rage, because he was trying to avoid someone. So he run like lightning, like flash, with the brand new car and plow into parked cars that killed these 4 university students walking on the side of the road that there's no sidewalk. What is that road called in Malibu? Dead Man Curve. What occur on that road all the time? Lots of accident. What happened? Many complaints that the road is very dangerous. Lots of problems came in with the city, complaining that they gotta do something, because the road, the way it swerve, the way the road is, it's deadly, 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 deadly. So whose fault is it? Do you jaywalk? Do you walk on the street with no sidewalk? Is it your duty to stay safe? Well, it's the duty of a driver to keep you safe as well. For example, when I drive, I don't drive for myself. I drive for everybody else. So basically, I always keep 2 car length off of a car, because a car can stop, sudden stop, and you have to swerve left or right. Yes? If there's an accident up ahead, then you'll be the first one to be notified, because you're driving and looking around your surroundings, so you know when to merge and all of those things. Yes? If I know that the weather is bad, I slow down. If I know the weather is going to be bad, I leave in time just to get where I'm going. I'm in a dep on the speeding. Okay? So you have to be mindful nowadays days when you're out on the road with these people. Even if you're in a bus stop nowadays days, you're not safe because cars can end up plowing into the bus stop. The other day, in a city, in my country, an old man was driving a car and end up in the daycare, end up killing a child. And the daycare was off the street, well, near the street, but you know what I mean. And the car end up in the daycare, killing a child. So where are we safe? I am going to shout. All right? So be mindful out there and be vigilant out there when you're out there walking and even driving. Okay? Because nowadays days, people are driving and they're going through a lot. People are driving and they have lots of medical issue where something could happen and then there they go. And you have people nowadays days that don't care. They drink, they smoke, they carry on. They don't care for humans' life. So just be that one underground. Be vigilant, drive safe, walk safe. And when you get inside, thank Almighty God that you're all right. Yes? Anyways, people, so that was the story. You know, more time we come with all kind of story. So more time we have to keep it real and more time we have to keep the content balance. Can't come every day with a drastic story. Gotta balance out the content quick and fast. Now, I don't know if you guys remembered a story that I came and unpacked to you guys. And I said, guys, there's a rich mogul named Peter Nygaard. Remember that story? And I say to you guys, if you guys like Versace so much, then you guys should have remembered the blackface, the first blackface that ever came out modeling Versace. She was one of his victims. So I don't know if you guys remember that Peter Nygaard was supposed to be charged, locked up somewhere. Remember that story I came and unpacked? And I said, guys, Peter Nygaard, oh here do a whole heap of shenanigans. But at the end of the day, guys, right? At the end of the day, it seems like this billionaire or this rich man, nothing is going to come out of it. Remember I said that something of that sort? All right. So let me find it for you. Peter Nygaard. Let's touch a little bit about Peter Nygaard. Because like I said, when I come and talk to you guys about a story, and there's a hold on. And there's a follow-up. I want to be the first one to come and speak to you guys about it because we dropped the story already. So I want to give you guys the backstory of Peter Nygaard, and we're going to come with the story that is happening now. All right? So let's give you the backstory of Peter Nygaard, all right? And then I'm going to come to the what I'm trying to tell you guys, all right? So give me a second.
Replacing your furnace before
1 second, commercial.
I work with Reliance.
Came down here about 45 minutes ago. 82-year-old Peter Nygaard, guilty of 4 counts of sexual assault, not guilty of 1 other count of sexual assault, and not guilty on 1 charge of forcible confinement. Now, Natasha, many of these charges go back. Allegations range from the late 1980s all the way up to 2005. This is the first time that Peter Nygaard has ever faced charges of sexual assault in an actual courtroom. There's been allegations of court floating around for years.
So you see how long that this fashion mogul been out here sexual assaulting women, and it's just recently, not too long, they lock him up. But everybody else gone down, as you say, ha! Everybody else gone down, and the whole news is talking about it. Where's the news talking about this fashion mogul Nygaard? See anybody? No, nobody. TMZ, nobody. TMZ is just on Diddy. TMZ never caught the story. TMZ never caught this one. So this is what I'm talking about. So this man been raping from in the 1980s. Just got caught up now. Because more time when you're so rich, ain't nobody see ya. All right? So that was the backstory. So let's get now to the present story, what's happening now. So apparently, Nygaard, swifter than swift, and I believe that Nygaard now is out of the wind when it comes to some of these sexual cases, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm trying to go in my email. I believe I sent it to myself yesterday. 1 second, man. Peter Nygaard. Come on now. Where are you? I believe I have an update with this. I believe I was right here. Because, yeah, man, right here. Okay, people. Peter Nygaard. All right. Let's unpack this quick and fast. Quick. All right then. Good. Look here now. Look at this. Prosecutors not appealing judge's decision to stay sex charges against Peter Nygaard. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So I want to give you guys a little bit more. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second, man. So I want to give you guys the audio of this. I don't want to talk about it too much because this man sick my stomach, to be honest, okay? 1 second. I'm going to back it up. 1 second. I want this to be louder, guys. Give me a second. So what happened? It seems like the police them lost some kind of information about everything when it comes to this man. See, he will not go to trial. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I don't know why this is so low. 1 second. It's too low for me, and I can't. The volume, I bought this volume, and nothing is happening. See if you guys could hear. Listen. I turn up everything on my part, and it's low still. Listen. You see? It's too low. So he would not go to trial in Manitoba. Let's back it up for a second. Listen. Listen. Could you imagine? So do we need to even drag this out although it's low? So the police basically lost all the evidence in this case in Manitoba. So the bastard ain't going to trial. Mighty God we serve. So what happened? How come police have everybody file except Nygaard file? How come the police have a database, even if those paperwork are destroyed, there's a database where you can go pick up those files? How come they misplaced the file and lost the file now, guys? When this bastard's supposed to be charged in Manitoba for holding, hey. So now we have to say allegedly because the cases and the charges are not stayed because you're going to violate his right because the police lost all the evidence supposed to bring forward. I never heard nothing like that in my life, but when you're privileged, you're just privileged, right? I'm troubled and disturbed, but I'm not surprised. So when you're privileged, you are privileged. When you're privileged, you are privileged. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So let me, I fix it. I want to go over it again. And I'm going to put a different volume on this. Give me a second. Because we want to hear it really good. All right, listen.
Judge ordered a stay of
I fixed the volume. Listen.
It all unfolded in court earlier today. CTV's Danton Unger joins us now.
Listen.
With the details. So Danton, why were the charges stayed against Nygaard?
Because police lost decades-old evidence, which a provincial judge says resulted in a breach of Nygaard's rights to a fair trial. Peter Nygaard will not go to trial in Manitoba.
Well, obviously, he's satisfied with the outcome.
The 84-year-old former fashion mogul was facing charges of sexual assault and unlawful confinement. But on Wednesday, Judge Mary Kate Harvey ordered a stay of proceedings, saying Nygaard's charter rights were breached after police lost decades-old evidence. There is significant prejudice to the ability of counsel to make full answer in defense, and therefore to the accused's right to a fair trial, Harvey wrote in her 41-page decision. Nygaard was charged in 2023 after a woman came forward alleging she was locked in a suite and sexually assaulted in 1993 during a visit to Nygaard's warehouse in Winnipeg. Court heard following the alleged assault, police conducted a brief wellness check with the woman, and a week later, RCMP took a full statement at her home in Vancouver. But any notes or records from those interactions are gone, either lost or purged from police databases in the 3 decades since.
The wicked
It's
act.
critically important that police forces take appropriate steps to ensure that communications with victims, even those that may be incomplete, not be purged from a police information storage system without appropriate evaluation, Harvey wrote in her decision, calling this one of the clearest of cases warranting a stay of proceedings.
What a biggest blow. So out of everybody that they drop on sexual assault, I wonder how come the police never lost all their documents. So you see? So this man been doing all of this thing from 1980 something and get caught up in the 20s, ready to go to jail and everything. And in his older age now, and the police said, RCMP like, Madame, we lost all the evidence that you came and spoke to us about. So sorry, no trial. Oh, privilege. I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to shout out nothing of that sort. I'm really just going to kiss my teeth and pass. Now, there's many victims, yes, but I want to bring this important factor to you guys because a lot of you guys out here likes Versace and have 1 and 2 Versace stuff. I'm going to show you his first victim, one of his victims, and this victim right now have a son for him and didn't know it was his son. Until she do a DNA, she thought it was her husband on because she was raped. Who is this girl? She was the first black girl to come out in Versace and model for Versace in her young days. So, and then when this situation happened, they claim allegedly Versace never had her back, nothing of that sort. Everybody thought that she was lying because Peter Nygaard is a Canadian fashion mogul, a big, big, big rich man. Okay? Give me a second. All right, guys? So I am going to come now and speak to you guys and show you guys one of the victim, and then you guys can have your own opinion or your own say after this and tell me if this man is not too privileged or this man never got away with a lot. So Peter Nygaard, 1 second. Victim, hold on. Had a son for him, right? And had a son for him. So, hold on. Let me see if I could find it. Oh, 1 second. Remember, say one of his sons was the one that blew the whistle on him. One of his sons said that this man did arrange people to even rape his son. Let's get to that part too, because I want to bring everything in. Nygaard's son accused his father that he arranged people to rape him as well. So not only that they claim he was raping other people, he was raping also his sons. And let's unpack this, because you guys think I'm joking. All right? 1 second. I had to mute you guys because commercial, right? Listen.
Peter Nygaard. After being accused of sexual assault by more than 50 women, he's now facing accusations from 2 of his own sons.
Listen.
Global's Kevin Hirschfield joins me now from Nygaard's hometown of Winnipeg. Kevin, what can you tell us?
Well, Robin, the allegations continue to mount against Winnipeg fashion mogul Peter Nygaard, who is facing another lawsuit. His latest accusers 2 of his sons.
Listen.
In the latest lawsuit, the sons allege their father ordered his girlfriend, who the suit claims is a full-time sex worker, to statutorily rape them 14 years apart when they were teenagers. The first complainant alleges Nygaard's son was flown from California to Nygaard's Winnipeg home in 2018 at 14 years old, where Nygaard orchestrated the alleged rape to, quote, make a man out of him, according to the court documents. But the accusations state this wasn't the first time Nygaard had arranged the alleged rape of one of his sons. In 2004, he's accused of instructing the same woman to have sex with his other son, who was allegedly 15 at the time, at a beachfront property in the Bahamas. Now,
Sick sickle itself. So I'm only giving you the backstory of this man. So when you hear that these people come now and said, oh, well, the police lost all the evidence, you just a kiss it, let them pass. Who did he pay now, allegedly? Don't mix me. So much things this man have done, and they fly underneath the radar, and until now, TMZ. And all of them can't come up to come and say these things, but every day they're on diddy. Every day they find somebody else's business. All right? And can't talk about what's imminent right now, okay? So right now, this is the black model that he raped, and she ended up with a baby for him and didn't know that it was his son. Let's unpack. And she's Versace's face, okay? Used to be Versace's face when she was young.
Beverly Peel is speaking out about the violation she says she endured at the hands of Peter Nygaard. She joins us now from her home.
That's the Black Queen.
Beverly, thank you so much for joining us. It's a lot to talk about here, but I want to start at where your story really as this international supermodel began. You were the face of Versace at age 12.
What did I say?
Your own phenomenally successful.
She was the face of Versace wherever you guys dreamed to wear Versace at age 12. And when this happened, everybody thought that she was a liar. Nothing ever happened until the DNA of her son. So imagine that you have a baby for your raper, for the person who raped you. I tell you this world, oh. But let's continue, all right?
Successful career and beloved throughout the industry. How did you meet Peter Nygaard?
Listen.
I met Peter Nygaard on my return. My girlfriend had come to pick me up at the airport in Los Angeles, and she wanted to introduce me to a millionaire who was a fashion designer, and his house on the beach was on our way back to my house, so it wasn't anything that was out of the way. So she said, she talked me into stopping by at this party, and it's like, okay, whatever, I'll give it a go. And went there, met, walked into this beautiful, amazing 70s style house on the beach, and this man who looked like Siegfried and Roy on the television, and Robin Leach was interviewing him or something about the lifestyles of the rich and famous, and then I hear this man with an accent come behind me and say in my ear, now pay attention because I'm going to quiz you after. Or this is your future husband. And he said some other kind of jokes, and I turn around and it's Mr. Peter Nygaard. And so that was my first, just hello with Peter. And then later on that evening, we talked and, with a whole bunch of people around, my girlfriend included, and we discussed possibly, signing me to a contract deal. And a couple days later, I went back and he had the contract signed, all made up and written up, and I signed it, and that was the beginning of the end.
You've said that the ink was still wet on the paper when Peter Nygaard violated you. And you talk about that in the documentary. This is not something that you've talked about publicly. I know that people around you were aware, but not something you chose to share with the public.
Just a few people around me. I mean, some of my closest friends didn't really know the depth of it. They knew something strange was going on, or, I had ill feelings towards him and stuff like that. And, but yeah, I haven't, this is my first venture out and sharing it, and with the hopes that my story will help other people come forward and, be strong and know that they have a safe haven, a place to go to, and there's people that you can talk to. And, I want to make sure that, and my son is really the reason why I
See, so that's the son of Peter Nygaard, the
he's my
rapist father.
superhero, and he told me that it's okay, you know, Mom, that people will definitely take to your story, and they're not, you don't be ashamed of it. It's fine, and I'm not ashamed, and all that stuff. So he gave me the strength to do it, and also so I can help other women know that it happens, unfortunately, to a lot of people.
You mentioned your son, Beverly. For those who've not seen the documentary, you reveal that what happened to you, which you describe as a violation or an incident, resulted in you becoming pregnant.
Hear that?
At the time of your pregnancy, you thought it was your husband. And then you gave birth to a child that was Peter Nygaard.
Judge.
Yeah, that was heavy because I hadn't shared my feelings. I had already talked to my son about the incident and how it you know, everything that went down. My son and I are very close, and I told him, you know, that it was hard for me to
hold him,
to take you into my arms and things like that. Everything that I say, my son already knows, so it's not anything that he's hearing for the first time. We've already discussed our things, and you know, he's such a strong.
Oh, judge of God. So that's how that man go around and violate everybody in the fashion industry. And until now, in Manitoba, they said no charges because the police lost all of those documentation. That makes sense for me. And you kiss her teeth literally and pass. From there, guys, we're going to unpack some other things. We get to understand that Britney Spears seemed like she's off for a ruckus again. We get to understand that Britney Spears is out here running around with knife, naked, whining, humping, carrying on. We get to understand that Britney Spears is supposed to be locked up somewhere. The police is looking for her. And then she end up disappear. So if you guys didn't know what's going on, Britney Spears is out here under some kind of pressure, going on mad again. Sooner or later, possible going to shave her head again. We don't know.
What happened to Britney? Why did she vanish?
She's clearly crying out for help. Where are those famous friends?
Something needs to be done before she gets hurt, and all you have to do is look into her eyes, and you know that she is unwell.
Okay.
In California, you can see her now on Peacock. She's the author of Deal Breaker, and you can find her on drbethanymarshall.com. Dr. Bethany Marshall, she seemingly lives on social. Like, there's no life outside of social. So when she drops off the map, off Insta, I mean, I think a lot of people have a guilty pleasure, a prurient interest in watching her bizarre Insta twirls and videos that we see pop up. She goes radio silent. Why?
You know, what I would wonder if she was my patient, and again, I've never treated her, I have not evaluated
So Britney's all here. Wait, a minute.
The face of the earth, but out to renounce psycho.
Wait.
She cuts ties with everyone she regularly communicates with.
Britney
and
Spears.
That has those close to Spears.
1 second.
Criminal charges swirl. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for...
Okay.
And all you have to do is look into her eyes, and you know that
Britney Spears is out here crazy again, they claim people.
Breaking news tonight. Britney Spears vanishes as criminal charges swirl. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime...
Insiders say Spears communicates using Instagram and social media, not just to interact with fans, but it's how family and friends keep up with her as well. Now that she's gone Instagram silent, friends and family have no way of knowing how she is or where she is.
And they're saying because that boyfriend, the baby father, the kid's father, child support is over now. He's out here with a tell-all book and talking about all of these things. But they said that Britney Spears is out here naked, wheeling, knife, humping, carrying on with lots of dog shit in the background, guys. They said Britney Spears is off her chain at this moment.
Britney Spears seemingly dropping off the face of the earth, but out to renowned psychoanalyst Dr. Bethany Marshall joining us out of Britney Spears' jurisdiction in California. You can see her now on Peacock.
See?
She may not feel that she
This is what she's
has
doing
another
now.
self, but this is
Oh,
a socially
Britney.
created self, which we all
do. What does that mean?
Our first sense of self in life is what we see reflected in the eyes of our mothers, okay? We smile, the mother smiles back. We know we smiled. Child actors and child musicians, the camera is their mother, okay? Have it with people
Right here,
in our
people,
lives.
see? These
She
are the
has
things they
it
claim she's
with
doing
the
now.
camera.
Look.
Speaking of people with prurient interests in Britney Spears, they don't listen to some of her music, but they love to watch those videos that my control room is obviously obsessed with. That's all they show. They never show her with her children when she's out doing Mommy and Me or any, oh, there you go. Do you think you can dig up one picture of her control room where she's fully clothed?
The vanishing act from Instagram causes Spears fans to grow concerned for her well-being, as the weeks leading up to the silence was filled with social media rants and furious posts calling out her ex K-Fed for humiliating her through his memoir.
See there?
Spears is then captured driving dangerously, crossing the center line, going on the shoulder, and tailgating. A little more chaos than silence. Deletes her Instagram, friends and fans alike concerned.
Straight out to Rob Shear. He is a PR guru that worked for years for Sean Combs. I guess you had to hold your nose during all that time. But has worked with Britney Spears and has spent a lot of hours around her. His brand new novel has just hit Amazon.
Okay, guys. So that boy out here talking all kind of ish and ash after his child support run out. And Britney Spears nowadays days is out here walling out, humping with knife, driving drunk, they claim, under the influence of whatever it is. And now the police are looking for her to charge her. She delete all her Instagram and delete all of these things. And they're wondering if Britney's in that phase of shaving her head or getting crazy, while they're going to end up with a guardian again, like the Wendy Williams situation. So her eyes are open on the ground, people. If you didn't hear now about what's going on with Britney Spears, now you know. She's off her ruckus again, guys, and we're not sure what's happening right now. But if you love some Britney Spears, our heart and soul goes out to her. And remember that mental illness is real. All right, guys? Kiss her teeth and pass, literally. Be mindful out here nowadays days, okay? From there, guys, we want to talk about some few things right here. Okay, let's talk about some things right here in the phone, and I'm going to finish up this live and say thank you for stopping by, okay? So we want to talk about here. World champion sprinter Noah Lyles named a living legend of the Alexandria. So when everybody beat him and say this and say that, and he's too much, and he's that, and that, November 13 tells you the champion is a legend, they claim. Had to shout that. So if you like some Noah Lyles, well, there you go. Well, damn. From there, we go here. All right, all the way to Jamaica. So Kingston, Jamaica, GEM working alongside Building a Better Jamaica, okay? And they're out here, and they said that they're out here helping and they're donating as well, they claim. Okay, guys, so everybody's out here trying to build back that Jamaica and all of those things, right? And they're trying to build back that country to make it great again. They're crying out or saying, so to speak, okay? From there, we also want to talk about this. So, Barry jury found this man, Cowan, guilty of selling fake Norval art. Fraudster. Okay, guys? And I believe, maybe I didn't send it to myself. I thought I did, but maybe not. Of course I did. I probably did. Let's see if we could get the order for this one. And then I'm going to jump off of this live and say thank you guys for stopping by. It's a pleasure as always. So let's unpack this quick and fast.
A Barry jury has found Jeff Cowan guilty on 4 counts relating to the selling of fake Norval Morrisseau paintings. A Barry jury has found Jeff Cowan guilty on 4 counts relating to the selling of but previously lived in St. Thomas while orchestrating the fraud for which he has now been convicted. He will return to Barry Court on December 29th to set a date for sentencing submissions. The jury deliberated over 2 days and found Cowan guilty of 3 counts of fraud over $5,000, as well as uttering a forged document. 2 other fraud counts were dropped by Superior Court Justice Laura Bird without reaching the jury. With a multiple-count guilty verdict, Cowan, who has been representing himself, could face a lengthy prison term. Court heard evidence of how Cowan was the source of dozens and perhaps hundreds of purported Morrisseau paintings that were of dubious provenance. The Crown contended, and the jury has now accepted that Cowan worked in tandem with elderly Issa Township resident Jim White to sell fake Morissos to unwitting buyers who thought they were receiving authentic art from the acclaimed indigenous painter. Morisso died in December 2007. The ruse was helped along by certificates of authenticity provided by a Markham area man named David Bremner. White and Bremner eventually pleaded guilty, taking deals from the Crown that saw them both get house arrest that they are currently serving. White was called as a Crown witness, telling the jury of visiting with Cowan, who provided paintings to him in exchange for payment that he would only take in cash or bank transfer.
You're there.
White, in turn, found buyers, either by direct sale or consignment to galleries or other sellers. While some of the paintings may have looked real, there were clear signs they were not done by Morisso's hand.
You're there.
The Crown meticulously demonstrated to the jury that signatures, canvases and textures proved certain paintings could not have possibly been done by Morisso. Bremner was called as a witness.
So not only that the art is fake, but the signature on the art is fake. What a wicked man. How thief can you go? How low down can you go? Kiss my teeth and literally and pass. So you have the fake art, you have the fake art and then the fake signature. And not only that, you're taking cash and e-transfer in the bank account. Well, duh, donkey of the day. Can I see your bank account, please? 6 months, 3 months worth. Oh, come on. Can you hide anything in your bank account if you deposit those money? Oh, Father God, I pray. Oh, these people nowadays days, these people out here frauding and stealing. And you think they're out here as some kind of big job, but nobody knows how they're out here stealing and living in these big homes. And you think that these people are hardworking people, to be honest, okay? So from there, guys, I think this live is good enough for what I have to tell you guys. To be honest, I'm not going to say anything more. I think I did my hour and say happy Sunday with the good dinner. And I hope your Sunday continue to be a peaceful one and all of that. Okay, guys? So I'll leave you guys with this one here. Bam. For those who think that they can't keep on going. For those who always feel like they always run into a roadblock on their way up, no matter what they try. So here we are with this big spiel, okay? I have dreamed many a dream that never come true or came true. I have seen in them vanish at dawn. But I have realized enough of my dreams, thank God, to make me want to dream on. I have prayed many prayers when no answer came through. All right? So people always pray and they said, you know what? Almighty God don't answer their prayer, guys. All right? So I've prayed many prayers when no answer came, though I waited patient and long. But answers have come enough of my prayers to make me want to keep praying on. I have trusted many friends that failed and left me to weep alone. But I have found enough of my friends, true blue, to make me keep trusting on. I have sown many seed that fell by the way for the birds to feed upon, but I've held enough golden sheaves in my hands to make me keep sowing on. I have drained the cup of disappointment and pain and gone many days without song, but I have sipped enough nectar for the roses of life to make me want to live on. So if you feel like it's the end of the day and you feel like your back is against the wall, always remember that I put on to you. Just remember again, guys, when you think your life is the worst, there's somebody else out there worse than you. When you feel like you only have bread and butter to eat, there's somebody haven't eaten for weeks. When you feel like, say, your rent, your bills, your mortgage is too expensive, there's somebody out there wish that they have a warm place to call a home. So we have to be grateful and be mindful for what we have and what we don't have, because at the end of the day, we can't have everything. Remember, Almighty God never made this earth in one day. Remember, he had to take rest, and remember, you have to keep on building. Okay, guys? So be mindful the way we tried out here. And for those, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and love more than you know. Be mindful and keep it peacefully, and just keep it going and keep it pushing. Okay, guys? That's what I got to say to you guys on this Sunday. And I want to say thank you for all the subscribers, the new subscribers. Thank you very much for you to stop on and stop by. I really, really appreciate you and all of that goodness, right? We also want to shout out this Alexia Grieveson Henderson is taking another step forward in her communication career. So right here, she has promoted president of Magic Johnson Enterprise. So we're going to shout out the black sister. Because nowadays days, a lot of black sisters out here is doing some things that you be like, my, wow. But nowadays days, when you see a great sister out there pushing on and become the president of Magic Johnson Enterprises, you have to be like, wow, sister, go on, sister, yay, sister, go on, sister, yay, sister, go on. From there, we find ourselves in Clarendon, Jamaica. A sales clerk was arrested and charged when selling, bad goods with expired food handler permit. So almost bring it back to the crab lady. No permit and a cook food. No permit and a sell food. So right now, Clarendon, Jamaica, sales clerk was arrested for charge for selling food goods, bad food goods and claim an expired food, and then the permit is expired too. So nothing can beat someone with the expired permit and then the food on top of it is expired. How wrong can you get and strong can you get? I am not sure. Kiss my teeth literally and pass. From there, we want to drop this. So Kylian created history on Thursday, November 13, as he scored and braced the seal France qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the 2008 championship. So right now they say he pushed over Messi 21st century world record right here. And him just a clap on and say, yo, go there. Baller, can't match it. Can't run over it and all of that. You know, nowadays days our young men, they don't want to become a baller. They don't want to become a basketball player. They don't want to be a welder. They don't want to be an electrician. They don't want to be a plumber. Most of the time all you hear, they want to bust guns. And then when they're behind the bars and they're doing time in the bars, now they come to the judge and say, Judge, Your Honor, parole board, Your Honor, I changed. I finished high school while I was in prison. I did a trade while I was in prison. But when I was out here, I never listened to my mama or my elder to say, go to school and go get a trade. Sometime after shouting, if you get a life. Where are you guys heading nowadays days, young men? Be mindful out here. Because there's lots of things out here for you guys to do and make it out here. Be mindful. So we shout out soccer on the Sunday. Okay, guys. So from there, guys, we're going to jump off of this live, like I said. And we just want to say big up to all of those who always come out and watch the content, no doubt. I really appreciate you guys. And like I said, big up right here for those who always come stop by. And for those who subscribe, thank you so much. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell. So when I come on, whether in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night, you're the first, second, or third to know that I'm around. And from I see you guys are coming to watch the content and subscribing, that means that the content are connect. So we are going to shout, jerk, I work where you work, and a chicken we a jerk. Work where you work, and a chicken we a jerk. Work where you work, and a chicken we a jerk. Work where you work, and a chicken we a jerk. So right there, so we know that we're doing in the work and putting in the work. No matter how boring the content seems, it always makes sense. Okay, guys? So catch you another time. Happy Sunday. And until I catch you guys on Monday, possible with a content or two. Bye.